The state of skiing. Welcome back. Today we're taking a ride through the state of skiing, both the good and the bad. This isn't just about Vail Resorts. The problems we see here aren't exclusive to one company. The truth is, the locals were just as eager to play along in the destruction of their own towns. Greed, short-term thinking, and mismanagement all played a role. But before we get into that, let's talk about what makes this sport so damn special. What do I love about skiing and snowboarding? There's nothing like it. Being out in the elements, surrounded by winter's quiet, where the only sound is the wind and your edges cutting into the snow. Skiing and snowboarding aren't just sports. They're the best kind of exercise because you actually get to do what you want. And if you're doing it right, you're getting a view that few people ever see. It's a privilege. I'm grateful for it. And for the people who work hard all year just to get 5 days of it. I'm going to do something unpopular and stand up for Vail a little bit. I'm not going to pile on to the usual complaints. In fact, I'll stand up for Vail Resorts on a few things. Yeah, the food is expensive, but it's being hauled up a mountain 2 hours from the nearest major city. Pack a lunch, find a scenic deck, and enjoy it for free. Day tickets are outrageous if you walk up on a holiday weekend with no plan. But if you buy a 4-pack ahead of time, it's about $109 a day. Parking? Sure, it sounds steep. But if you have a car full of people, it's $10 each. And if you're savvy, you can park down the street for free and take a bus that runs every 15 minutes. They hook up veterans, and starting wages are decent at $20 an hour, with often things like free lessons, free rentals, major discounts. A smart local could work minimal hours and get all the benefits. This isn't just Vail. It's that not many people are that savvy. The real issues were essentially not smart management. The bigger problems? The people making terrible decisions, especially around housing. Everyone saw Airbnb and short-term rentals, STRs, rising. Everyone knew it was going to be an issue. But instead of working with the towns to find a balance, they let it explode. Now seasonal workers have nowhere to live. The J1s that come out here stack up 12 of them, 20 of them in an apartment, and they're still paying $900 to $1,200 a person. Then there's the genius move to fight ski patrol. The decision to replace experienced staff with temp workers who barely last a season. The moral hazard of letting people rent questionable gear, throw them on terrain they have no business being on, and then charging them $1,200 for a lesson if they can afford it. The industry has been making itself bottom heavy for years. More beginners, fewer real skiers, and more dangerous conditions. The price versus the product. I have no problem paying $25 for a burger with a view. That's the price of entry for nice things. But if I'm paying that, I expect something better than a truck stop McDonald's in Kansas. The food, the service, the cleanliness, it's all gone downhill. Staff can't even point you to the nearest gondola. The ski bums of old, the ones who love this industry and wanted to share it, are gone. Replaced by actual bums, living on dad's dime, complaining about the price of competing with other trust funders to buy a double wide for $1 million an hour away on a good day. How the hippies cashed out and killed their own towns. Let's talk about who really sold these towns out. Not Vail Resorts. Not Wall Street. It was the old school locals. The Deadhead hippies. They bought in for pennies when these towns were nothing. The same ones who spent decades talking about community and the soul of the mountains. They were the first to run to the bank when the money came knocking. They didn't fight to preserve what made these places special. They slapped some paint over moldy drywall, jacked up the rent, and started cashing out. When Vail Resorts raised prices, did these locals work to keep housing affordable for workers? No, they Airbnb'd everything. They let their little rotting condos turn into overpriced STR shacks. When the ski town bubble really started to inflate, they doubled down, acting like it was Vail's fault while they raked in the short-term rental money. They could have fought for sustainable housing, fought for their communities, but instead, they saw dollar signs. And now, there's no town left, just a collection of overpriced vacation rentals and no real locals. These same people who bought in for nothing now complain that their kids can't afford to live here. No shit, you priced them out. In closing, the real truth from Hunter S. Thompson. This isn't new. Hunter S. Thompson saw it happen in Aspen long before Vail, Breck, or Jackson Hole followed the same script. The same hippies who used to smoke joints and talk about the spirit of the mountains turned around and sold their town to the highest bidder. And now, they want to blame Vail Resorts or Airbnb or tech money. But they were the ones who opened the floodgates. The ski industry didn't betray them. They betrayed themselves. So I'll leave you with this. I'm surprised and embarrassed to be part of the first generation to leave the country in far worse shape than it was when we first came into it. Hunter S. Thompson. It didn't have to be this way, but here we are.